Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Welcome back, Dallas.
Hey!
Welcome back, Dallas. Took that second half off yesterday. It really cost you. I don't know if you saw the clip that went out before we came on the air today.
No, what happened? No,
we just did some deep diving. You know, so there's some DB talk on the pod.
Are you guys talking shit? I mean, you got to understand. I'm back over here. I flew yesterday. I got home. I've left Oakland. I'm now back in Los Angeles. We have an off day today. It was a fun 3 days back in Oakland. The Braden Bowl has been brought to an end. But no, I did not see these. No, please inform me. What the fuck is going on?
Do you want me to play it? Want to play it for you?
Yeah, play it for me. Absolutely. I'm all ears.
Yeah, play the clip. Yeah, I'll play the yeah. It's no big deal. You know,
okay.
It's it's part of the content here with Baseball is Dead. We put out social clips from the show to promote the show. And this was inarguably the highlight of the show. So
people don't know this, but 90% of the outs Dallas Braden recorded in his career were in the perfect game.
Yeah.
Most of the rest of the time he just spent getting fucking his tits lit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I miss that guy.
Dallas Braden?
Yeah.
Dallas Braden, let's see. Who hit the most home runs off Dallas Braden?
God.
So shockingly enough, the number is 2.
Maglio?
So there are a few guys that are tied with 2. It is Maglio Ordonez, Brandon Inge, Jose Guillen.
Guy had a tough time with the fucking Tigers, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Bobby Abreu got him once. There's probably some like legit names where you're like, damn, that's pretty cool that I gave up a home run to this guy.
Oh, sure.
Andrew Jones should be a Hall of Famer. Justin Morneau, Hideki Matsui got him. Josh Hamilton, that one's cool. Or it was until he became a piece of shit. Adrian Beltre, Hall of Famer.
Indeed.
Mark Teixeira, Mike Napoli, World Series champion. Torrey Hunter, that one's cool.
I think that could be a future Wednesday segment, just like fucking name guys who hit bombs off Dallas Braden.
He also had real hard time with some Angels here.
Brother, I think you're going to find that Dallas Braden had problems with lots of people.
Fair point. Fair point.
Yeah, so that was that's what you missed yesterday.
Oh. I'm sure I could have clearly elevated that conversation.
Yeah, we did probably another hour at least on the back end of yesterday's show. We probably cleared 2 hours yesterday, just riffing.
Wow,
just a couple of the boys just riffing.
Yeah. Well, it was a 30-minute B talk session to open it up.
We did. Well, I knew as we were doing the B conversation, I was like, people are either going to love this or they're going to hate it. And the immediate feedback has been the people have loved it. People have learned, as I did, all new things about bees. People found it. I think because of Dallas's influence, like we have cornered the baseball fan stoner community. So there's a lot of just like people that were at high elevation that were like, damn, I didn't know that much about bees, brother.
Dude, hey.
That's crazy, man. I didn't know that they were so intricate like that, man.
I can't tell you how many people have sent me DMs and are like, dude, I got fucking baked and went down a rabbit hole on these bees, man. And I'm thinking about getting a hive. I'm thinking about doing it.
Yeah. We have cornered that market for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. We got it. We're good.
Yeah. Last night. What?
I was going to say, stay tuned because we're going to be extracting, we'll be extracting honey at the end of the summer, and we could have some Baseball is Dead honey on the shelves for the holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm. I would love to give my friends and family some Baseball is Dead honey.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a thing. Like it's gonna be a thing. We pulled fucking 17 pounds of honey last year from 6 frames. That's like not even a full hive, and we got 3 of these motherfuckers bumping right now. So we about to get.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like how many jars of honey do you think that you could produce? Like this is gonna be like limited edition.
Yeah, no, I mean no. It's gonna be an expanded limited edition because, like I said, last year we took 6 frames, so just 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little frames, 7 frames, and got 16 pounds of honey. So that's, like I told you, not even a full hive's worth of frames. So you could essentially double, maybe even triple the amount of frames, which means 15, 30, maybe roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 pounds of honey on deck potentially this summer. So, yeah, it's going to be more than just a jar. We will have many
not
jars.
to make it a part 2, but like, what do bees do with honey? like bees make the honey, and then what? Like they just wait for humans to come and mass produce it?
No, they eat it. That's their food.
Bees eat honey?
Absolutely. It's their food. They're storage.
Then how is there any left over for us?
They're very efficient insects. They don't just consume. It's not like you're sending a group of alcoholic bees and putting them in a home full of like just liquor everywhere. And you're like, I don't know how there's a drop left. Like that's not what the bees, they know when to say when. Like they don't need enough. They don't need it. They're all good. That's why I didn't extract honey from the hive for the first 2 years. And that was so that they could build up enough supply. When you go into the hive, if you pull too much, you'll piss them off. And if you do that, they could swarm like we just saw. So I only take enough for us to leave plenty for them to utilize, and plenty for them to be happy and maintain. Because what we don't want to have happen is over the winter, their storage goes short, because when the flowers die off and there's not enough to forage for them, what do they got to do? They're like squirrels. Nectar. There you go. They're like squirrels storing nuts away. So that's what they do. They store honey.
What do you do if you get swarmed in your bee suit? Like you can't see. Like what do you do?
No, you could see. You could see.
If you get swarmed by hundreds of thousands of bees?
Sure, you could see. You can still see. I mean, you just like
if the bees swarm on your fucking helmet and you can't see, what's your move?
Well, if the bees swarm on your helmet, you're probably in a bad way. I mean, that means the queen's probably somewhere around you. But at that point in time, you should have left. You should have gotten the hell out of Dodge. It's a bad scene if they're swarming on your head. Like that's when you just remove yourself from the hive. Like you give it a little shake and you get the fuck away from the hive. And eventually, because you're not flipping out and crushing the hive, they'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
But I would recommend jumping in a body of water.
Yeah, that's what I would have said. Yeah. That was my play. And I'm not even a professional.
Natural instinct.
Controversial play last night. The Mets game. Mets Cubs.
Was it?
I was watching this game well, a little bit, yeah. I think for a couple of reasons there. Pedro Alonso's at third base.
Mm-hmm.
You get a fly ball to left field. The throw comes in, and maybe his hand came up, maybe it didn't. But in your opinion, Dallas, was this an obstruction play? Because I feel like it's a little subjective. Like, what was it?
It's fluid movement though into the play.
He was standing on the plate without the ball.
Standing on the plate without the baseball.
Without the ball. Yep.
And that is clear obstruction. Okay. That is clearly obstruction, especially under the new rules that have been applied, or under, I guess, the new emphasis under the obstruction rule, right? We're seeing it at second base. You're seeing it on the base paths. And it's kind of funny that gets overlooked, that it's at home plate, because isn't that where this kind of all started? Rewinding back to the Buster Posey rule.
Buster Posey. Yeah.
So how was it? How do we have a rule?
Andy Martino had a picture of examples that it was in a memo that was sent out to teams during spring training this year. And it showed three different images of what catchers cannot do. Like this is illegal, and this is illegal. And what happened in last night's game would be deemed illegal, I guess. Yes. And that's why, I feel like there was a lot of back and forth going on Twitter, but it's like, it felt pretty cut and dry.
Well, yeah. Well, how about the explanation that we all heard, which, by the way, I'm not quite ready to throw this out there. I think it has already maybe been floated, because I've had this conversation, but we are seeing an abnormal amount of hot micage going on around the league. There's am I wrong in that? Am I off in feeling like that's the case, that we're hearing an awful lot of hot mic conversation?
very clear hot mic last night.
I mean, yeah.
Situation.
What do you mean?
The Mets can't believe it, but looking at the replays, you can understand why both of those calls were made. Amaya had his foot on the plate, but gave Alonso the lane.
You're going to talk to me. I'm not in replay. I'm telling you what they told me.
The rule says you cannot stand on home plate without the baseball.
I'm not arguing with you, Carlos, but I'm saying I don't see that.
Man.
Hey,
that's bullshit.
Take that up with the office.
And that is absolute, complete, and total bullshit. What would you have your manager do? You want them to read the rule book and have a feel for what's going on. You want them to be aware of these memos that you're referencing, Jared, and they are. And so when they go out there and have this conversation, they expect some sort of communication. They expect some sort of problem solving to take place here, where we're not just hamstrung and left standing there with no answer, which the answer was, and this is what we all got fired up about when replay was first initiated, was, so there's no umpires here on the field that are going to be able to solve this problem. It's all going to fall on the folks back in New York. Well, what happens when it's wrong? That right there. You just accept it and you just move on, because there's nothing that you can do about it. You're there. You have the officiant of the game, Jay, telling you, sorry, the person that you're looking to for help, cannot help you. And it's the people who I'm on a team with back over there that are making this decision. I'm just the dude who has to tell you what decision they've come to. And right now it's painfully obvious that I understand your position, but I can't help you. And it's obvious that those folks that are making the decision are not looking at the details here. And you are absolutely getting railroaded here. But can't do anything about it, man. Hang with them.
But, and here's the problem, again, just to hammer it home with the on-field umpires deferring to the replay unit, is that by the time you can actually contact the replay, there is nothing that can be done, because this situation reminded me that you cannot protest games based on misapplied rules. That's no longer allowed. I didn't know that or remember it. I don't even know distinction without a difference, but like, you can't do that anymore. And so him saying take it up with them is, I guess, technically correct, but practically useless, because the game is over. They have lost the game, and or you know, the game ends. You have lost the game. You can't protest the game based on the core crux of the issue that you have. So it's just and that disconnect is frustrating too, because you know, we have replay. People saw what they saw. I tend to think that if the rule is what it is, then this is obstruction. So if we have replay and they still can't come to that conclusion, that, not to go on a soapbox thing, but that goes back to what I was talking about with replay a couple of podcasts ago, where it's like, okay, so we're going to fucking totally interrupt the flow of the game. We're going to grind this to a halt, and we're going to come to the wrong conclusion, probably, by utilizing replay as well. So I don't blame them for being frustrated, the Mets and Mendoza specifically on this one, because, you know, just having middle management tell you that they can't do anything, we've all experienced that in real life, right? We've all gone to the service center or the cell phone store and talked with people who ultimately tell you, I understand your problem. There's nothing I can do for you. You know what I mean? You have to call this number. And so it's like, maybe you get it resolved, maybe you don't, but you're not getting it resolved with the person who's right in front of you. And that's frustrating.
And here's the other layer of shittiness to add to it, is that person that you're talking to right now on the field will end up being one of those people rotated in New York. They will eventually be the individual making the call on the other end that middle management in the stadium has to listen to. So that's the other part where it's like, but bro, it's not like you don't know the people there, and it's not like you're not that dude there. So it's like, I lose out here because I got you here with me right now instead of your boss. And then when you rotate there, I'll be stuck again because I'll have this person and not you. Like it's a never ending cycle of what are we doing when we have the ability to get calls right? We have the ability to use the rule book and apply it to what the video is showing us, and we are still choosing to draw a line before that happens. We're like, no, I know that makes sense. I know we could take the video, and I know we could take the rules, and I know we could combine them, and I know we could get an answer here. But we're not gonna. And you'll have to
Is it possible that they were just looking at Alonso's hand popping up and they weren't even considering obstruction when they were looking at the play? Like, is that something they overlooked?
Well, I guess that all depends on whether or not that was brought to the attention of the replay or to the replay official that this is what we're looking at. But you have the ability to. So, like, say we're talking about a tag play, right? Like a tag up play at home. Not only do you have the ability to challenge whether or not the runner left early, you could also challenge whether or not the runner was safe or out via a tag. You could also challenge obstruction. You can have the entire play looked at. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. And for them to not come to this conclusion, like regardless of what you feel about the hand being up, down, up, and then got back down in time before the tag was applied, move on from that. We're talking about the rule of obstruction. You cannot have a foot on home plate and simultaneously be giving the runner a lane. That is the determination that we've come to.
I think that what bothers me the most about that play in the exchange that we heard on the hot mic is when you say, yeah, take it up with the office, you're kind of just passing the blame. It's like, you got the call wrong on the field originally. Like, you were standing right there. You saw it. You got it wrong. So it got passed off to someone else who then doubled down on it being wrong. Like, you were the first person to be wrong here.
And don't think for 1 second that stripping the on-field umpires essentially of that responsibility is an accident. It's not. It's it's on purpose, and
for this reason.
Right, for exactly this reason.
Yep.
And so I just think there are so many reasons for the Mets to be frustrated about this that I know it's just one game, and I know it's kind of an interpretation situation on a rule that's not totally that whose enforcement is new in some ways, but there's a process thing going on here that I think is as much frustrating as the specific result of this situation.
But it's understanding why the process is in place. It's not even so much the process, is it, Jay Hay? It's understanding why the process is in place. And it's so it's basically what it amounts to is an automated loop. When you call somebody, you talk about the call center, the help center, the tech center, and you can't get a fucking human being. That's by design. That is not on accident. That is to frustrate you, to send you through a never-ending cycle of inability to get an answer, and then you'll leave it alone. That is not a fucking mistake at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Yep. It was the story of the night, in my opinion. Feel like it's the opinion of many others that were watching baseball last night. A lot of controversy, lots of uproar on baseball Twitter last night over this, but not to overshadow Shota Imanaga's performance. And Foolish Baseball Bailey over there pointed this out. Shota Imanaga's 0.78 ERA is the lowest through a pitcher's first 6 starts in their career since Fernando Valenzuela had a 0.33 in 1981. No other pitcher since integration has done this. Shota Imanaga, I feel like, because this morning I tweeted, and we'll get to Yamamoto, but I tweeted out some updated statistics on Yamamoto since that disastrous first start, thinking that, people are going to be like, oh, wow, he turned a corner. I didn't realize how great he's been since that first shit start. First impressions are a very big deal, and everyone kind of just jumped down his throat after that first start. Thought that people would be like, oh, wow, he's really turned a corner. The reaction was, talk about Shota. Like, fuck Yamamoto. Like, why aren't you talking about Shota? He's better. He's been better. And it's like, all right, you're right. You're right. And we're leading with Shota. But I guess it's a fair gripe when
Well,
but at the same time, it's like you have
because
to understand, like Shota, he wasn't brought over with as much pomp and circumstance. He wasn't supposed to be this guy. Yeah, he like when you looked at his profile in Japan, at least most recently, it was this guy gives up a lot of bombs. You know, you're going to get a guy that can give you innings. He pounds the strike zone, but in doing so, he gives up the long ball quite a bit. And Yamamoto was the guy that was like, hey, we're going to make you the highest paid pitcher in baseball history. Yeah. So there's going to be more eyeballs on Yamamoto, but deservedly so. You could turn right around and say there should be more eyeballs on Imanaga based on what he's done through his first 6 starts here.
Yeah, talking about like the difference between Imanaga and Yamamoto coming over early is like, well, you got one guy who might be like Lance Lynn in his prime, like really good, but gives up a lot of bombs. And then this other dude is a 3-time Sawamura Award winner. Like, who do you think's rolling over with a little more attention? Who do you think's getting a little more hype? And that's why people have been like, yeah, whatever, Yamamoto, like $300 million. Everybody is drawing a comparison of 2 pitchers in their rotation and lining it up to what Yamamoto has done. It's like, oh, you paid $300 million for that? Man, blah, blah, blah. You know, like we got that right here in our own backyard. Nah, you probably don't. And I think you'll probably find that out sooner rather than later. But I don't know how you overlook what Imanaga's doing. It's quite literally legacy foundational type shit. Like, how'd you get going? How did things work out the first time out of the gate? Utterly dominant. That's how it's been. Utterly dominant. And what I take away from this last outing is it's the first time that he's pitched on 4 days rest. And he also talked about not having or not feeling great with the fastball at times. And then the fastball started to tick up again later in his outing. And I talk about that because shortened rest for the first time in his career in the big leagues. He acknowledged maybe not feeling the greatest, or as maybe he's felt in prior outings. And he specifically, or the article specifically, mentioned fastball velocity. So in a day and age where that's what we are enamored with as an industry, especially when it comes to swing and miss, we just watched a guy go out there and talk about how it's the first time on 4 days rest. I might not have felt as I would have if I had the extended rest that I'm used to, but I went out and figured it out. I was able to communicate with the catcher, and we were able to put together a hell of an outing. That is pitching. That is how you pitch. That's it. You don't have your best shit. Rarely will you ever. But when you don't, you've got to figure out ways to get outs. And it doesn't matter whether it's in the Nippon League or it's here. The science is the same. You got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to read swings. You got to be able to garner the weak contact when necessary. Dial up the swing and miss if you have that in the bag. And he's got every one of those clubs in the bag right now.
Imanaga's great. Not everything needs to be a grievance. Can we just say that like,
yeah, right?
Because I didn't, Jared and I basically tweeted out more or less the same thing this morning and didn't see it. But like, I also saw very much the same responses, probably in a much lower volume. But like half of the responses were about Imanaga. And firstly, I've tweeted about Imanaga. Secondly, like, I do feel like he's gotten covered. I feel like this start has been covered. And like,
but it's comparing the money. I think it's the money thing, Jay. Hey, that's what I think
understand,
it is.
But like, okay, then you got a better deal, dollar per war.
So they give them their flowers. That's where I think they're coming from. They're saying, no, you guys spent this fucking much money.
You don't need to do that kind of stuff.
You're the Umpire.
5 starts into a career or 6 starts into a career.
Well, they're fucking doing it.
We're talking about decade-long contracts. Anyway, that was separate from how awesome he's been. I mean, so much cool stuff is going on with Imanaga. He's got a really cool combination going where he has the highest chase rate in the league. He's got the 4th lowest walk rate, and he's got a top 25 lowest barrel rate allowed. So he's not putting on anybody for free.
He's baffling
He's
people.
getting lots and lots of swings and misses out of the zone. And when they do make contact, at least as far as barrel rate's concerned, which is more predictive than average exit velocity, he's not getting crushed in that regard. So that's kind of cool. I think it's interesting that early on He's kind of shifted his pitch mix a little bit from early on. It was very four-seam heavy. And now over the last 2 starts or so, he's leaned more into the split. He's thrown 30-plus splitters in each of the last 2 starts. It was extremely effective for him in this last start.
Because we don't see that.
I don't know how I don't know how much you want to be throwing a split. I don't know if 35% splitter usage is approaching a number that's a little whatever, but like it's impossible to nitpick with this guy, especially because people like, it's been cited on this pod and elsewhere, but people are hitting, I think it's 137 off of his 4-seamer that was, as Jared said, supposed to be problematic. So, it's obvious at this point that the Cubs got a great deal with this guy, even if he regresses off of the best start since Fernando Valenzuela. But I just feel like we can appreciate both of those guys simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are they?
Doesn't have to be a competition. If Yamamoto wasn't on the Dodgers or the Yankees, I feel like people wouldn't be as, let's compare the two and fuck Yamamoto. Let's talk about Shota. I think it's just like, it's Dodger hate. What it comes down to.
It's Dodger hate, and because a lot of the questions I have got were, are you spending the same kind of money on this dude? And if you knew you were going to get this dude, and it's like, well, that's an unfair question because that's hindsight, right? So based on everything that we knew about these individuals leading up to this, I think it's clear who the dollars probably would have gone to anyway. But now that you see the performance, it's that much easier, and it's more of a badge of honor almost to say, yeah, that's cool. You spent your money on this dude. That's great. But look what we got. Look what we got. So give it some love. Give it some love. Don't give me it's 1 year into this decade long. We'll talk about it at the end. That's great. I'm sure we will, but we're going to talk about it right now too. And Imanaga right now is the one that you want to talk about.
Did you see Shota Imanaga's impressions of New York, Dallas?
Impressions of New York, from what I understood, he was excited because he's like, yeah, this is where Spider-Man was.
Correct. He said, the view from the hotel, I recognize it from Spider-Man. So I was just like, oh, this is where Spider-Man was.
So I love that. Because I do that shit too. I do that shit all the time. Like and it's watching a movie, right? It's like they'll come in and it's the shot and it's like LA. And I'm like, I know that place. I live there. Oh, I know it. I know that. Yeah.
He seems much more personable and likable. Like, even just like we did the segment on Section 10 when he was getting interviewed by Coney and Eduardo and Ravi, and just obviously I don't speak Japanese, but his facial expressions to some of the questions were just very funny. Like he doesn't seem like your prototypical, just like professional stoic. Like he has like a personality to him. I wish I understood the language because it feels like he's kind of got like that like snarky humor. Like he gave up a bomb to who was it? Tyler O'Neill, Jake, the one to dead center.
Yeah, the reaction.
So he gave up a home run to Tyler O'Neill to dead center. He just looked at it and he was like, okay. Like he's like, oh yeah, pretty good. Like when you're dominating like that, you can acknowledge someone else like being like, yeah, that was pretty impressive to do that against me. I wish that I could, experience his personality the way that I'm perceiving it through body language.
And there's something to the I'll say international player and the humor. And I say international because if you haven't spent a long time or a lot of time around people from Latin America, or if you haven't spent time around people from Asia, then maybe you don't have a feel for how stark and how contrasting the differences are in communication and humor, just the overall respect, right? I can remember like when Matsui showed up and all the media finally kind of filtered away and, he's able to just kind of be a teammate and be a dude. Guy's fucking great. Guy is fucking awesome. But to your point, you see some of the facial expressions and you're like, I did not have Hideki Matsui making a fucking googly eye face, or I don't know. And you're like, that's funny. I remember Akinori Iwamura. We had him in like spring training, I think 2010 early. And like just watching the dude rip heaters and like laugh about fastballs, just getting fucking thrown by people. Like it was great. But you never thought that was going to be something that you were connecting with.
Is he 30?
Who? Imanaga?
Yeah. He's 30.
No idea. 30.
Yeah, he's 30. Yeah. He'll be 31 in September. Okay. Gonna hit a little read here, and then we've got some debuts today. We got a lot of new segments that are coming your way. MLB season is in full swing, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball, or you can mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. It was probably a ton of fun last night for our friend Jake here because the Boston Celtics have eliminated the Miami Heat. They are moving on. And then you have the Boston Red Sox, winners of 4 straight baseball games, and are quietly just lingering in the American League East. They're only a game and a half back right now. It's a weird place to be as a Red Sox fan because you've got the Bruins in the playoffs, you've got the Celtics in the playoffs, and you've got the Red Sox that aren't supposed to be good, but have the best pitching staff in baseball. It's very confusing process. But what isn't confusing is that when you make sure you have to sign up with the promo code Jared, Underdog Fantasy app. Download it right now. Pull out your smartphone. Download the Underdog Fantasy app. Punch in that promo code JARED. And you know what Underdog's going to do? They're going to double your first deposit up to $100. That is Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Now, if you're listening to this, you are receiving this information at the same time as the rest of the people on this podcast. I have not told them that I'm going to do this. I am excited about it because I think some all-time podcast moments will come from this. But I am going to be playing Guess That Year with someone. I'm never going to tell them when it's coming. We're not going to be like, oh, on Thursdays we'll do this. No. It could be any day. It could be any time.
Love it.
You have X amount of hints that I will be reading to you, and you have 1 minute. 1 minute to guess that year. And it's important, Dallas. I know that you're a big blurter. If a person is selected, only that person can answer. No hints from other people.
I'm a big rule follower when it comes to that. Big rule follower.
Yep. He's a big game show guy. As we know.
I am.
He is a game show guy. So at one point or another, someone on this podcast will be selected to guess that year. And I have the hints ready to roll, and the clock will be ticking.
The poster is here. If you guys don't believe me, I got the Steve Harvey signed poster here. Now that I'm here in LA, it's here.
Oh, we know. We've seen it.
That's right.
See the GIF all the time. So I just wanted that. I just had to set the stage because I'm, you don't know when it's going to come, but it's coming. And the pressure will be on.
Excited about that.
Yeah. I'm going to roll out a hint. Like, I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you want a hint every 10 seconds? Or do you want a hint whenever you ask for a hint? I think every 10 seconds makes more sense.
Yeah, because then it's like as the hints. Well, I mean, are the hints going to get stronger and stronger?
Yeah, I think it starts out vague and then gets more. Yeah.
Because you got to be careful about that. Because if I'm, and who's going to be? You're going to be firing off these horse shit hints eventually. Because that's what I feel like is coming.
The first couple are horseshit.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
It's definitely designed so that you can't guess it on the first guess. I mean, you could. Yeah. I guess in theory you could.
Like when we play the baseball card game during a blowout, and I just pull random baseball cards, and I ask my partner, "All right," and this is how I play. I go, "All right, middle infielder, right-handed." Okay, so you don't have it? All right. 80s. Yep. Okay. Oh, still not pointed enough. So I want to make sure we're not getting any fuckery like that, Jared.
Well, clock's ticking. You got 1 minute. There's 1 minute on the clock to guess the year.
Okay.
That's
Yep. Fuckery abound.
It's not fuckery. I mean, if you guys say that you're baseball guys, no?
It's fuckery.
I'm very ready.
Yeah.
For whenever it happens. And whenever I'm called.
How ready are you, Jay Hay?
Oh,
the Baltimore
let's do
Orioles
it.
were the AL East champions, going 91-71.
2015.
The All-Star game was held at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Nolan Ryan go ahead.
1999.
Nolan Ryan led the majors with 367 strikeouts.
1979.
Rod Carew won the batting title, hitting 364.
1982.
Lou Brock led the majors with 118 stolen bases.
1970.
Mike Schmidt led the majors with 36 home runs.
1974.
1974 is correct. 1974. Correct. Jay Hay.
That's awesome.
So those are all just random years. All the other
ones were incorrect, presumably, right?
No, those were all correct things that happened in 1974.
Oh, I follow. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
All those things happened in 1974.
Right. So that's why I felt like I was zeroing in on it towards the end because, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Glad I got it.
Yeah. That's close.
That was close. That was fun. I'm looking forward to that segment next time.
Yeah.
Now that I feel like I've gotten my feet wet on it.
Yeah.
And came out with a dub.
I'll never tell you when it's coming either.
That's great. That makes
do you know what that sound effect is from?
Yeah, it's from Mario Kart.
It is from Mario Kart.
Thank you. Oh,
Double correct.
One time I had my brothers and a couple of friends who were close enough to drive up for a baseball fantasy draft weekend. And our big event, other than doing the draft, was that across multiple days, we played what we called the century of Mario Kart, which was 100 head-to-head races against each other. And whoever had the most total victories at the end of that was the champion.
Wow.
It was a lot of Mario.
The final. The final. That's there should be a belt attached to that.
A lot of fun. Yeah. My hands were sore.
I will say, for anyone that is actually keeping track at home, it ends up being like a minute and 5 seconds because the Mortal Kombat voice at the end that's counting down from 10
is slower.
He takes longer than longer than 10 seconds. Yeah.
That's fine. That's just a built-in understood feature.
Mm-hmm. So you basically have 65 seconds.
Good luck to the next participant.
Yeah.
Joey's going to be funny.
Yeah. I just noticed that in my rundown here, Kodai Senga auto-corrected to Kodak Song.
Shout out Kodak.
Kodak Song faced live hitters on Monday. We'll throw another live on Saturday. One more live after that. Then a rehab assignment. He's eligible to come off the injured list on May 27th. Is that kind of what you had in mind, Dallas, when we were talking about the last time in terms of... Because we were thinking that when he was eligible that he wasn't going to come off right away.
Yeah, well, eligible to come off.
May
so
2nd now.
Out. Yep.
Yeah, May 2nd now.
He's got 30 days.
Another live on Saturday, which is the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
One more live. So if he threw Monday, Saturday, one more live would be what? Wednesday?
So Thursday would be his go day.
Yeah, so Thursday the 9th. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so he would.
And then Tuesday.
The rehab assignment would either be like the 14th or the 15th. So yeah, he's got time for 3 rehab assignments.
I was going to say maybe 2, depending on how he feels.
Starts?
2 and they might go 3. Yeah, if he feels good after 2.
Well, he can't come off.
What's that?
Can't come off till the 27th.
Oh, because it's a 60-day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
he's got time for 3 rehab starts. 2 more lives, 3 rehabs, and potentially could come off when eligible, depending on how he feels.
Yeah, which is a huge sign because I think initially when you hit the 60-day early, it's like, all right, we need to calm this down. We need to make sure everything is in a place where we can manage it. And if he's going to get back this year, we need to make sure that we've got a plan of attack in place so that we don't hit any road bumps. There aren't going to be any hiccups. That's what you're trying to prevent right now. So for him to hit the 60-day as soon as he did and be in a spot to come off of that and hopefully make an impact, those are all positive signs.
Yeah. And they need him because last night's frustrating loss to the Cubs, put them back to 500. They've lost 7 of 10. They have not played well at home, and they're 5.5 back of the Braves. I don't think that the division was never a discussion for the Mets, so you can kind of point to like where are they in terms of making the playoffs. They're only a half game out of a playoff spot at 15-15. Competing with the Washington Nationals. Of all teams, the Nats are in it, baby.
Wow, the Nats are in it.
Yep. The C.J. Abrams breakout season is upon us. Don't sleep on them Nats. The Nats can go. Is that just like a weak National League playoff picture that we're dealing with here? Because a half game,
what if you're involving the Nats in that playoff picture?
If you're a half game out in the American League, you are 4 games over 500. If you're a half game out in the National League, you are a 500 team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's breaking news, and I don't think it bucks our preseason expectations to learn that there may be 3 legitimately good, very good teams in the NL, and every other team is like some variation of average to slightly better. Like, I think we can kind of wait and see on the Brewers and the Cubs and see exactly how good those teams are. But that the Mets, Nationals, Reds, Cardinals, Pirates, Padres, Giants, and D-backs are all 500-ish. That feels about right, actually. I think that's how those teams have been designed, and I think that's how the NL in some ways has been designed. And that's what makes, to me, that's what makes the Braves and Phillies and Dodgers such, like comparatively impressive units, is that they have pushed more for they're just so much better than these other teams, frankly.
Yeah.
6 teams in each division with a negative run differential, or 6 teams in each league with a negative run differential.
Yeah, not great. Not great at all. On the subject of shitty umpires, did you see this Byron Buxton thing?
Only when you sent it to me.
Yeah, Byron Buxton was limping off the field. He tried to steal second base.
Fucking
and umpire Rob Drake tells him, let's go.
And they got to send the training staff out there. I don't know what's going on. Doesn't look good. Rob Drake was just telling him to get off the field, and I don't think that's appropriate.
I don't think that's appropriate.
What he told him?
Yeah.
Way too much.
You think he's not just going to walk off the field just because? That's not a great sight for Twins fans right there.
Walking side by side with Jason Kirkman and Byron inside the dugout, and that is not a good sight.
It doesn't look like Buxton heard him. But yeah, LaTroy Hawkins, I believe that's LaTroy Hawkins in the broadcast booth for the Twins. He heard it and he had an opinion about it. Yeah, you don't do that shit.
No, bro. Like that's you're there to umpire the game, safe out, fair foul, shit like that, man. Like you're not there to moderate things like that. He's hurt, and on top of him being potentially hurt, Have you been living under a fucking rock where you have no feel for who that is? It's Byron Buxton. Pretty good player. On top of that, he's also a player who, as we know, has dealt with some injuries in the past, has he not? So can you have a fucking heartbeat? Can you have any sort of sympathy, any sort of feel for the situation? I don't care if it was a guy who's never been hurt. That's a Major League Baseball player dealing with something physical. And if that's the case, you want them to hurry along? Why? Don't tell somebody to hurry up. Move it along. What if he would have? What if he would have? Oh, shit. Sorry, Mr. Drake, sir. Bam. Now that mild strain is a grade 2 strain because I had to hurry off the field because Rob Drake had to catch his fucking plane. The fuck out of here. That is so fucking tired. So fucking tired.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that
the audacity,
he completely
the audacity,
misread the situation. If I'm that umpire, I'm not consciously aware that a player is like limping off the field and telling him to hurry the fuck up. Like that just seems ridiculous. Like, was he asked after the game? Like, hey, did you know? I don't know that anyone maybe caught it in time to ask the umpires. I know that they don't often speak publicly after games, but that feels like something. Maybe if it's a bigger market team, if it is a bigger market team, that clip probably makes the rounds a little bit heavier, and then it's more of a to do in the moment after the game. I don't know.
What happens if Rob Drake is telling Aaron Judge to hurry up after he's coming off the field after he banged his fucking toe up? What happens there?
Yeah,
and then Aaron turns around and is like, hold on, what? Like, bro, I'm a little banged up right now. I'm trying to limp off the field because shit is not right. And you're telling me to just hurry up, move it along? Like, dude, like it's hard. I'll tell you guys a quick story. In junior college, like this is where that kind of shit is reserved, all right? My coach, we're running bases, and we have a player on our team who ends up jamming his hip, like lunging for the base, and like falls over and is in the base path. Our coach doesn't go over to ask if he's all right. He doesn't go over to like check on him. He goes over and tells him, "Get out of the way. You are killing the drill." This is exactly what he said. Meaning you're floundering around in the baseline right now, and you know what that means? These other guys back here can't get the work in. So roll the fuck over into foul territory so we can finish the drill. Got it? Like that's where that kind of shit is reserved for. Was that right? No. Was it okay? No. Did it happen? Absolutely it happened. But that's the difference between a junior college practice setting and a big league umpire with a big league player who, if you've umpired a big league game, you probably know who Byron Buxton is, and you probably have a feel for what the dude has gone through over the course of his career. Maybe the last dude, if there's an injury that you're asking, hey, can you just fucking speed it along, dude? We're trying to get this game in. Yeah, I'd be really curious to see if Rob Drake was asked questions about that after the fact.
Yeah. Do we want to spend any more time on Yamamoto? I know that we kind of tied him into the Shota Imanaga conversation. Is there anything else? Do you have any nugs, Jay?
For Yamamoto?
Yeah.
No, basically just what you covered. I just one thing on the Bucks, like before we move on from Buxton, obviously Dallas covered the Rob Drake portion. The Byron Buxton thing itself is kind of sad in a way though too, because like, I don't know how long this injury is going to keep him out, but we're now at a point with a guy who at different points looked like one of the more dynamic talents in the whole game. And like, I'm not going to get into the weeds on the numbers that I looked at, but if you look at players who debuted as early as Byron Buxton and have accumulated as much value as Byron Buxton has managed to accumulate in as few games as he has managed to play in that time, that combination of things is more or less unprecedented in modern baseball history. Like the names that I would throw at you are people that played decades before any of us were even born. So like that's a little bit convoluted, but the point is that like before injuries sapped this guy, it's just worth remembering that this was the best defensive center fielder in the game, probably for a period of time. And he was a guy who did so while at different points flashing a level of offensive talent that made you very, very excited. And we're now at a point where I think not only has the defense obviously been diminished to the point where like they didn't even play him in the outfield last year, and now they played him this year, and he was bad when he was out there, like bad overall. But we're now at like since the start of last season, we're at 447 plate appearances of him being like not a good offensive player and not an asset necessarily defensively either. So it's like, what is Byron Buxton now? And he's still only 30 years old. And it's like, yeah, I'm not writing the eulogy for the guy. It's just like, we're not that far removed from the guy popping 28 homers in 92 games in 2022, making his own the All-Star team and being like, oh, wait a second.
No, Jay,
he's turning the corner.
Yeah, this is a dude who got former MVP votes. This was a guy who I can remember saying in like 2017 when maybe some of the injury stuff started to come along. I mean, I think was he All-Star that year, 2017?
That's by far, that's his. Yeah, he was in the MVP vote. He won his only Gold Glove, and that was his only time he's ever played more than 100 games or gotten more than 400 plate appearances in a season.
Okay, so and he's a Platinum Glove winner too. Not the kind that Matt Olson has, but like a Platinum Glove.
Yeah, right. Nobody has Matt Olson's. Yeah.
But this was, I can remember saying in that year, 16 or 17, saying this is a dude who, after what we've just seen, and we know that there's some injury history, like, I want to give him a 10-year career, completely injury-free. If you can hand out 10 years to somebody injury-free, who would it be? And Byron Buxton was my dude. I was, give him 10 years of clean bill of health with his fucking speed and the power combination that we were seeing and what he was going to be able to do defensively. Like, fuck yeah.
That's correct. I didn't really know. I mean, it shouldn't surprise me, but the fact that he's only played over 100 games once is kind of crazy. He's been in the big leagues for 10 years.
Yeah, I know. And it's like never, you can have no expectation of that improving moving forward. Like generally guys don't get healthier as they age. So,
no,
and his skills have obviously diminished as well. So it just kind of sucks all around. Cause like just one more time before we move on, 2019 to 2022, he had an 874 OPS and a 136 OPS plus in over 1,000 plate appearances. Like he had everything going over that stretch other than being available to play lots of games. And just kind of sucks. He was a big part of what the Twins had going, or you would have thought, and not anymore.
He couldn't even stay healthy in the 60-game season. He played 39 games that year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bummer, man.
It is. It is. But it is, seeing Byron Buxton limp off the field, unfortunately, is not a foreign concept to anybody.
No.
So Rob Drake was just over it. He's like, come on.
Yeah, he was like, how are you this show? We've seen this before. Like, let's get off the field, brother. And we got baseball to play. Walker Buehler will be making his return to the Dodgers rotation on Monday against the Miami Marlins. It has been quite
soft
the road
landing
to
spot.
Recovery. Yeah. Quite the road to
another
recovery.
AAA start for Walker Buehler, I see.
This will be a welcomed addition for the Dodgers, who haven't exactly gotten off to the start that I think everyone thought that they were going to. I think people were expecting to look up at the end of April and see that they had just absolutely ran the table. I mean, it's not like they're still in first place. They're going to win the division. They have a 4.5 game lead. They're 20-13. But I think that, the way that we were talking about the Dodgers in spring training was like, this team is going to have single digit losses until like the All-Star break. So yes, Walker Buehler is returning, and I'm very excited for that. Someone that I picked for Cy Young like 2 years in a row.
It is funny though, like how expectations can warp things, because like the Dodgers have the best run differential in the NL and are 20 and winning at a 600 clip. I'm excited. I mean, it does seem like a long time ago, but on 3 years ago, Walker Buehler was at the forefront of every pitchers under 25 that you would want to build a team around sort of list. So plenty of time for him to still be awesome and a contributor this season.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he'll be a free agent at the end of the year. So what he does from this point forward is pretty important. I'm pretty disappointed in what we've gotten from Miller, 3 starts of 540. But Paxton's been nice for them. That was like an early in the offseason signing that, I mean, as a fan of the team that had him last, I completely forgot that he went to the Dodgers, but he's made 5 starts. He's got a 3.5. He's not striking guys out, but he is he's limiting base runners. The FIP is gross, 567 for Paxton.
I sell high. Yeah. I looked this morning on James I was looking at something else and Paxton came up. So Fangraphs has a stat where
he's not limiting base runners, by the way.
But
it's a 168 whip.
Yeah, he's not. Strikeout minus walk percentage. And obviously a really good thing to be good in and a bad thing to be bad in. And Paxton's current rate, the last time that a qualified pitcher put up a rate that bad was 1950. He's the worst qualified starter this year is Soroka, and he's at minus 2%, meaning his walk rate is 2.0% higher than his strikeout rate. James Paxton's deficit is 6.1%. It's like on an entirely different plane.
3 times as bad as that.
Dude, his strikeout rate is 13.2% and his walk rate is 19.3%, Dallas. This is the least sustainable thing in pitching history.
His walks per 9 is 771.
Yes.
I don't know that I could go out there right now and do that.
Yeah, like enjoy.
Like I'm not striking anybody out, but I'm not walking anybody either.
And by the way, it's not just that his walk rate has doubled more than from what it was last season. His strikeout rate has also lost 11%, or half of what it was last season.
Yeah.
So kind of a problem, I would have to think.
Jesus,
they need
Christ.
Walker Buehler. Don't want to be real.
This dude, Landon Knack, has made 3 starts. He's got a 281. The FIP is 563.
Maybe he's just got a knack for
outperforming
his peripherals.
Oh. He's giving up some homers. Yeah, he's giving up homers. It's 3 bombs in 16 innings. But Tyler Glasnow has been excellent. That's my guy.
Yeah, he's good.
Best
272 ERA, 284 FIP. The whip's under 1. Strikeouts per 9 is 1109. He has been everything that they've hoped that he would be. Averaging 6 innings per start to lead the staff. No one else is really coming close to that.
Wow.
So
truly impressive workhorse. 6 innings per start.
I
tell you when this used to be a proper country. People used to go 7-8 innings.
Yeah, not these days.
Glasnow could win 20 games this year. He's already got 5. He's 5-1. He's recorded a decision in 6 of his 7 starts.
You see that? You know who else has 5 wins, tied for the league lead?
Who's that?
AJ Minter. I love shit like that. Relief pitchers who run into like Cy Young starts in terms of their wins. AJ Minter has 5 wins and 16 appearances.
That's
actually an interesting nugget. I wonder when the last time a reliever racked up 5 wins. All right, I'll get back to you guys.
We'll get back to you. The Braden Bowl is complete, and the Oakland A's have come out on top, sweeping the Pittsburgh Pirates. How does that make you feel, Dallas?
It makes me feel good about what's going on in Oakland. It obviously raises a couple questions what's going on in the Steel City, but the focus here today is on the Oakland Athletics and what has transpired over this last month or so. The bullpen, as it sits right now, is riding a 27 1/3 inning scoreless streak. That's nasty. They got the second best ERA in baseball. That's pretty fucking good. Ross Stripling just won his first game since 2022. That's also a positive. Alex Wood just did the same thing last time he took the mound. That's really nice. Why? Because these were two veterans that you had pegged as guys who, hopefully, if they could prepare themselves the way they had been doing all offseason, we're going to get an opportunity to start baseball games. I was very vocal about the idea of giving us 5 innings. If you can get 5 innings from both of these guys and they're able to get through 5 innings, there's a solid chance you have an opportunity. You might be within one swing of the bat of the game. And I think for better or worse, that has been the result. And that is why the A's sit where they sit right now, record-wise, just 2 games under 500. And that is also the pitching staff is a big part of why the A's are having any sort of conversations surrounding them. And it starts with, yes, what's happened with Miller and Urseg. But there's guys that I talked about, Mitch Spence, who just went out and pitched his ass off again in an extended role. So you're getting every type of performance you need to get from the bullpen from every area. The long guys are performing. The bridge is performing. 8 and 9 are performing. It's as fucking lockdown as you get in baseball right now. So yeah, it was a hell of a weekend for the green and gold. A phenomenal weekend for the green and gold. Shout out Tyler Nevin. This is a dude who was brought in and was like, maybe some lefties, might see some work in the outfield, maybe over at third base a little. He's played all over the place, and since showing up is the team's MVP. Like, dude's fucking raking. So it was a good 3 days in the Bay. But the pirate ship's going to limp out of port, and that's a tough one.
I'm just seeing this video for the first time just now. Did you see the Ron Washington and Amir Garrett exchange?
Yes. Yep.
Very cool.
Love it. Love it.
Well,
that's Wash. Yeah, it's Wash telling him, look, everybody, Wash went out there to talk to his guy, to talk to his pitcher. Infielders, stay the fuck where you're at. Catchers, stay where you're at. He told everybody, he just waved everybody off and went and did his thing.
He walks out to the mound. The infielders start to converge on the mound with Amir Garrett, and Wash just kind of like directs them like, nope, everyone back to your positions. He goes out there, gives a pep talk to Amir Garrett, and gives him this pep talk and punches out the next 2 dudes. Very cool. But Dallas only has 20 minutes left, so we got to get this. We got to get this game going.
Yes.
No what?
Yeah, no. You said, I got to leave in 20. I got a fucking Finding Nemo play to go to.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, what do we got?
Take it away, Jay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to Baseball is Dead, Family Feud, Fast Money.
Wow.
I'm your man, Justin Havens. All right. It's going to be Dallas it's going to be the Braden family against the Carabas family.
Wow.
Oh, I thought this was a team thing. No?
The 2 of you? No, you're taking off headphones.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, but
remember?
to get to 200.
Yeah, it's to get to 200.
To get to 200.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you can't listen to each other.
No,
right.
Of course not.
Yeah, but I'm just referencing. I mean, they always reference the families, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing for pride of the family and stuff like that. We asked 100 Baseball is Dead fans a set of 5 questions.
When the fuck did this happen?
Dude, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes with the production folks that you don't even have any fucking clue about.
I guess so, yeah. Goddamn.
Yeah, and this is one of them. I mean, Jake, me, Jeremy, Corey, shout out to all those folks doing the hard work behind the scenes. Yeah, but we polled 100 Baseball is Dead fans. We're going to run through the questions. Who wants to go first?
I'll be the one that goes with, I'll go second.
You'll go first?
Okay.
George.
I'll go second so that I can shut my thing off.
Okay.
All right. So Jared's going to shut his thing off. He is both killing the audio and taking his headphones off.
Just give me like some sort of like thumbs up so that I know to come back.
Okay.
I can't hear you currently.
Yes. Don't come back yet, though. Okay. All right. Jake, are you going to time it?
Yeah,
do we have a clock?
20 seconds for the first round. I'll give you a 10-second heads up.
Okay. Are you ready, Dallas? Obviously, you know how to play. You can skip. I can come back to them if you want. Yep. But I don't think the first batch here is going to be overwhelming. They're not designed to trick you, this first batch. So I want you to go in with that mindset.
It's not right or wrong. These are opinions.
No doubt. I'm just saying they're not overly complicated or convoluted questions. Okay. Are we ready?
Ready.
Jake, you ready?
Ready to go.
All right, here we go.
Can I get a visual of a timer?
I'll give you a 10 and then I'll go 5, 4, 3.
You use your fingers? All right.
Yeah.
Ready? Out of 100 BID fans, who is the best team in baseball in 2024?
The Atlanta Braves.
Who is the most exciting player to watch in baseball currently?
Ronald Acuna Jr.
What is the most unbreakable record in baseball history?
Cal Ripken.
10 seconds.
What team has been the most surprising in a positive way in 2024?
Kansas City Royals.
3, 2.
Who is the best-selling MLB jersey in 2023?
Matt Olson. I don't know why. Fuck! Jake is fucking me up with the... God damn it! I picked the Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Matt Olson. Fuck!
Oh, that's fantastic.
Jake's fingers were fucking me up.
Yeah, I will read them faster a little bit moving forward because Dallas was answering in plenty of time. But that's funny. You got screwed. All right, we can bring Jared back.
Oh,
We got to add up the point total, Jay.
Yeah,
all I saw was something came down to the wire there.
Yeah, it was great.
Fuck me.
Hold on, I'm adding up.
We're adding the totals. You guys have the point totals already?
Yeah.
do.
Hold on. We have the results.
Were any of my answers 0?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, Jake, I have a number.
Okay, go ahead.
116.
Yep.
Okay, Dallas got 116 points, Jared.
Okay.
So
over half, bud.
There.
Come on.
You need 84. This sets it up nicely. That's good work, but
don't
far
fuck
from
it
a
up.
foregone conclusion.
Don't fuck it up, Jared. Let's go.
Jake, question. If he answers the same, do you have a sound effect or am I making an obnoxious noise?
Yeah, you got to make a noise. I'll have a buzzer for next time.
Great. Okay. Okay, Jared. So you know how this works. 100 Baseball is Dead fans. We're going to run through the results. I will ask you the questions. You have a certain amount of time. Here we go. And I will go.
Okay.
If Dallas answered that question or provided that answer. Here we go. Out of 100 BID fans, who is the best baseball team in 2024?
The Dodgers.
Who is the most exciting player in baseball to watch currently?
Shohei Ohtani.
What is the most unbreakable record in baseball history?
My internet froze. I didn't hear the question.
Yeah, that's fine. Hold on. What is the most unbreakable record in baseball history?
56 game hit streak.
What team has been the most surprising in a positive way so far in 24?
10 seconds.
Ooh. What? The Royals. The Red Sox.
Who was the best-selling MLB jersey in 2023?
3.
Shohei Ohtani.
2.
All right, folks. Let's do some quick math here.
Carabas!
All right,
I don't know
we had
how the fuck. How did I not guess the same shit as Dallas for the Shohei Ohtani answers? That's crazy.
So out of 100, so Dallas had 116 points. Question number 1 for Jared. Who is the best baseball team in 2024? Jared answered the Los Angeles Dodgers. 18 points. Third most common answer. So
That's
you were
crazy.
up to
what was the number one answer?
There, you're up to 134.
What was the
number one
answer?
answer was the Atlanta Braves. 38. Dallas got it. So good teamwork there. You got the first and third most likely answers. The one that was not named at the top was the Baltimore Orioles at 27 out of 100 people. Question number 2. Who is the most exciting player to watch in baseball currently? Again, you have 134 points entering this answer. You answered Shohei Ohtani. 8 points.
What?
He's not
you
pitching,
and Dallas
Jared.
only grinded out. You and Dallas only grinded out 12 points out of that answer. I will admit that this is one of the most split answers with some really weird stuff going on towards the end. But the number 1 answer, not totally surprising, Ellie De La Cruz at 12.
Okay.
Mason Miller got 11.
Huh.
So we are at 142 points through 2 questions. You need 58 points.
Jared, this is where I needed you, and I think you came through here, Jared. I think you came through.
Okay.
What is the most unbreakable record in baseball history? Jared said the Joe DiMaggio 56-game hitting streak. Would you guys be surprised to learn that only got Jared 7 points?
What the fuck?
What the fuck are these
serious?
answers?
Who the fuck
These
are you
answers
asking?
are terrible. Yeah, this survey sucks.
The number 1 response?
Me.
Cal Ripken's consecutive game streak at 42 points.
This
Jared.
survey is horrible.
God damn it.
Stop. Don't blame it on the survey.
If you don't fucking get us to 200 points, I'm going to be fucking furious.
The number 2 answer
if we
was
don't get
Cy
to 200,
Young.
it's the answers that the people gave. These are horrible surveys.
The number 2 answer was Cy Young's 511 career wins, which I'm actually going to go ahead and agree with it. That's more unbreakable than the hit streak. No offense. So we are now up to 149 points.
Oh, fuck.
You need 51 points over 2 questions. The second to last. What team has been the most surprising in a positive way so far in 24? Jared answered the Boston Red Sox. After trying the Royals, you guys got the top 2 answers here. Yeah! Kansas City Royals, 32 points. Boston Red Sox, 24 points. So, quick math
Need a big one out of you here. Need a big one, Jared.
We have 173 points entering the last question. Jared needs 27 points out of the final question.
I mean, I gave the correct answer. Like, this has to be, like, whether or not the survey says, like, Shohei Ohtani
Go ahead and
is
prep the listeners.
1,000% the correct, like, this should be 100. What's the top
argue.
jersey
Quit
seller
arguing.
this year?
I need to find out.
Maybe the global superstar that just switched teams to one of the most popular teams. Like, yeah, that's the fucking correct answer. Anyways, go ahead and read the fucking
hasn't
stupid
lost yet and already so defensive. Out of 100 Baseball is Dead fans, who is the best-selling MLB jersey in 2023? Jared answered Shohei Ohtani. Folks, would you believe that Jared is today's hero?
Let's go!
That answer brings home 77 points.
Woo! That's right.
For a total of 250 points. You guys are Family Feud Fast Money champions in the first go. Congratulations. I do have to shout out, though. Please celebrate. Please celebrate. What Jared missed, though, was Dallas's answer to who was the best-selling MLB jersey in 2023 was the only answer of the 10 that you guys got that provided zero. He answered inexplicably Matt Olson.
What?
It's because
inexplicably.
It came out of his mouth and he was like, no!
Because Jake gave me this one. It was fucking crunch time. Jake goes, I got 3, 2, and Jay still reading the fucking question. And I'm like, I don't know Matt Olson. I don't know the answer. I don't know. I don't even know. I'm not even sure I heard the fucking question. Matt Olson was going to be the answer, though.
Just for posterity, Acuna was the second best answer there with 12. So Jared read it correctly. Ohtani was the overwhelmingly correct answer. at 77. So, and that actually is the correct answer, just so you guys know. He was the best-selling jersey. So the fans were correct, and Jared was correct, and Jared and Dallas win Fast Money. That was a great job, Jake.
Wow.
I'm excited about future segments of that. That's great to start off with an exhilarating last question win.
We just need a little clock.
Also, just that survey, man, those answers were tough. Like the 56 game hitting streak is even like, we can debate on which one is the most difficult to break, but like the 56 game hitting streak is always the answer given. Like that's the one that everyone's like, oh yeah, the 56 that'll never be broken.
I mean, it is that or Ripken. Those are the two most common answers because I do think everybody just bypasses Cy Young, and it is given that is an unbreakable record to the point where nobody even talks about it.
Cy Young, Ricky,
hitting 400, the stolen base record. Like there's tons of unbreakables.
Yeah.
The stolen base record did not get a ton of love.
The all-time strikeout record, you would have to punch out 300 batters a year for 20 years to do that. Like that, no one's doing that again either.
That was right after the hit streak. In terms of answers, that one was a little spread out. That was a kind of a wild answer. And then the most exciting player got a lot of answers. Paul Skeens got as many votes as Juan Soto and Bobby Witt, for example.
Love that.
It's good that baseball's most exciting player is currently in the minor leagues.
Not for long. Not for long. Little birdie.
I mean, you guys getting the most surprising one. That was obviously getting 77 points for Ohtani is the clincher, but you guys getting 55 or 56 points out of the most surprising teams. Is huge because those two obviously accounted for more answers than all the other surprising team answers combined. So good job. That was fun.
It's knowing ball.
Yeah, the voters got to clean it up, man.
We'll see. Maybe it's the voters. Maybe it's the person who came up with the questions that needs to hone it. But either way, we'll continue to have a great time. And, there's no reason for you to be bitter. You did win. So just shake that off. And
yeah.
All right.
It's all good.
I got to roll.
All right, Dallas. Enjoy Finding Nemo.
Thank you. All right, let's play that Dallas game again.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, pull up that Dallas Braden versus batter stat page.
All right. I'm out of here.
All right, good luck.
Later.
I'm gone.
The only other thing that we had was Matt Hilton, the beekeeper, is getting his own baseball card. I feel like we'll talk about that on Monday, I guess. Like we can't talk about that without Dallas.
Yeah, it sounds like Dallas is efforting trying to get the beekeeper too. So maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll get an update on that next week, and we can talk about the baseball card.
We can talk about that with him.
Right. Yeah, the actual guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the only other thing that I had on the rundown outside of Mason Miller's D3 stats, which got sent to me this morning by our very own Tim Livingston at Underdog. He was like, did you know about this? And I said, I sure didn't. I brought it up to Dallas before we started recording. And he knew all about it. I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, I expected him to. But anyone that didn't know, this is for all the people out there that want to give up on their dreams a little bit too soon. Mason Miller, who is one of the most exciting pitchers to watch in baseball today, played for a D3 college. And in his freshman year, had a 7.03 ERA, 32 innings, 42 hits, 28 runs, 25 of them earned, walked 15, did strike out 42. But opponents hit 316 against them. His sophomore year was even worse. A 7.16, 32 2/3 innings, 38 hits, 38 runs, only 26 of them earned. What the fuck defense was behind this dude? Jesus Christ. No wonder why it was probably just because he was giving the team so many extra outs because his defense behind him was so fucking terrible. But 32 2/3 innings, 38 runs, 26 earned. But he walked 28 guys, had no idea where the ball was going. The strikeouts were way down, 22 strikeouts in the 32 2/3. But yeah.
I think that nicely summarizes why baseball and pitching specifically as a part of baseball is unlike anything else in sports, because there are just really no other examples of that I can think of where you can go from being abjectly terrible results wise to being amazing by tweaking one or two things or working with the right coach. Like players in the NBA, players can work with shooting coaches and become better shooters and stuff like that, but they don't become like you can't transform fundamentally who you are, I guess, except in the most extreme circumstances. But I feel like in pitching, particularly modern pitching, with what we know about, tunneling and planes and release points and spin and all that sort of stuff and biomechanics, that the way you can turn around a guy mid-career or following a slump or something like that, I just think is so fascinating and so cool. And Mason Miller's an extreme high profile example of that, but that's what stands out to me about that.
He sure is. Never give up, folks. Sometimes it's okay to give up. Like, I gave up and it was the best decision I ever made. I thought I was going to play in the big leagues one day. Turns out I didn't, and I wasn't gonna if I kept going.
I remember I was in 4th grade, and I was like a pretty good basketball player. Pretty good. Not obviously didn't have the physical traits to be anything better than that, but I really loved it. And I was playing in the driveway of one of my best friends at the time. We were just, we were playing, and his mom comes out, and she goes, just kind of casually, she goes, Justin, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I go, I want to be a basketball player in the NBA. And she goes, that's not going to happen. I would start thinking about other options. And I never will forget that. I was at 4th grade. Shout out Bonnie Lyon. But I also gave up right then and there. Yeah. And I started, I started my podcasting career and my stats career right there. I said, I'm throwing this basketball away, and I'm going and I'm getting Bill James's almanac. And the rest is history. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, when I threw out the first pitch at Fenway, we did an episode for Nesson, kind of like fake practicing for it. And we got my high school baseball coach to do the episode with us. And I was like telling the story because when I was a sophomore, he was like, I must have said like, because we were probably like getting ready for whatever tests and stuff, like applying to colleges. And I was like, well, I'm going to play in the big league. So like, he's like, you're not. He's like, you're not going to. He's like, you're not going to play in the MLB. So like, you should definitely have like a backup plan. And I was telling that story, and and I believed him. Like I feel like if he said like, yeah, like you have what it takes to make it to the big leagues, then I probably never would have accepted another opinion after that. Like all I needed was his validation. But the second he was like, you're not going to play Major League Baseball, dude, obviously. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, all right. And then I started my blog that year. And the rest is history. So
now we're here recording another Fire podcast on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024.
2024. Number 1 baseball podcast in the world. Number 1, numero uno. Number 1 baseball podcast in the world. The number 1 baseball game show podcast in the world, too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All the charts say so.
Yep. Jake's takes?
Just never give up. I think if you're going to take one thing away from this pod, it's just don't give up.
It's true, man. We saw that in Family Feud, too.
Yeah.
Jared almost gave up and then came up with the right answer.
I was already making excuses for our loss before coming up with a 70-point play to finish it out.
It's big time stuff.
Yeah.
2 quick final thoughts.
Please.
The Craig Counsell Bowl starts. I know we just got off of the Braden Bowl, and that's obviously much bigger, but the Craig Counsell showdown begins tomorrow at 2:20. Nice
Is it
little
in
Friday
Milwaukee?
day game there at Wrigley. No, it's in Wrigley. Not quite the same. Yeah. And then Braves Dodgers also this weekend.
There you go.
Which has obviously some high end potential. Glasnow's going Saturday. What we don't really get is like that signature pitching matchup. Like we're not getting like Fried Yamamoto or something like that. It's kind of like dumpy guy against good guy, but nevertheless, it'll be good to see the two best teams in the NL probably go head to head.
There you go. All right.
Oh, I have one final one. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Guardians Nug. They played 4 consecutive extra inning games for the first time in 114 years.
Wow. What was their record?
There was a lot of baseball.
What was their record?
Over those 4 games?
Yeah.
Oh, they went 3-1, 2-2, 3-1. Yeah.
Good for you.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
I mean, they won last night. That's great.
Yeah. Shout out to them guards.
2-2. Yeah, it was 2-2. Yeah.
Okay.
4-2, 4-3, 10-9, 3-2.
All
Pretty
right.
weird.
I got nothing. I got no final thoughts. I'm just ready for this weekend of baseball.
Let's do it.
Oh, you know what my final thought is? For all the moms out there, or for all the sons out there, husbands out there, get your orders. This is not a promo code. I don't have a website or anything. Get your orders in for the flowers now. You'll thank me later. I feel like in many years, like I've needed someone to be like remind me to do it, or you just need someone to push you to do it. Order your flowers now. Go get them. Make your reservations for Mother's Day. Like those are going to get booked up pretty soon. It's not this Sunday, fellas. It's not this Sunday. It's the next Sunday. Book your reservations. Order your flowers for mom. This is your reminder. You're welcome. See you Monday.
We out.